Lucas County Engineer's office busy this spring season. Lucas County Engineer Mike Pniewski is here again to give us all a breakdown of all the work we'd expect to see in the coming weeks. What I love about all this, it means it's springtime, although the downside of that is road construction season, but that's what you do, and we're glad you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're back in spring again. We've already started repaving roads.
Have you really?
Yep, right here in early April.
So let's start with the roundabouts. I know there's going to be 5 new ones this summer in the project on Monclova Road at various, or 3 of them on Monclova Road, but a lot of them out in the fringe parts of the metro area.
Yeah, so this year we have a couple of rural roundabouts, one at Providence, Neapolis, Waterville, and Archbold White House, which is in Swanton Township and Providence Township, and then another one in Swanton Township and Monclova and Wilkins Road over by Oak Openings Metro Park. And then we have 3 in Monclova Township, one on Maumee Western Road or US 20A and Albin Road, and then 2 right in what they call the village of Monclova, so one at Albin and Monclova Road, and then at Monclova, Waterville, Monclova, and Monclova Road.
And again, let's recap on this. Roundabouts are much safer than they are out in the country to have to rely on people stopping at stop signs or sitting through red lights.
All right, the important thing about a roundabout is, especially in rural areas, they tend to, you have big, long straightaways where you can kind of get velocitized, you kind of lose attention because you're doing a whole bunch of stuff in your car. So a lot of times there could be stop signs every once in a while. You can't blow a roundabout, but you can definitely blow a stop sign. So you see a lot of more severe accidents, especially out in rural areas where people are going at high rates of speed and could blow those stop signs into somebody else.
Now you've got a lot of full resurfacing, a lot of areas. What have you noticed about this weather that we get in the winter is brutal for the roads. So how do you keep track of all these roads that really need attention? Yeah,
so we inspect our roads every other year. So every other year we're out inspecting all of our roadways and determining what their conditions are. And then based on that condition survey is how we determine where we can make our dollars go further and where do we need to do those resurfacing projects so we're not wasting money.
I see you doing almost 5 miles of full resurfacing, and then you got another 5.7 miles of thin overlay. What's the difference in the two, kind of?
So full resurfacing is you're actually milling the roadway, so you're milling about an inch and a half and putting down a new pavement. With a thin overlay, you're just putting down about an inch of new pavement on top of what's existing. So milling costs a little bit more. You use that in places where the condition's a little bit worse. If you want to try to prevent being able to do that or more expensive repairs, you can do that thin overlay. It's a lot cheaper and a lot easier to put down, and you can make the roads go a little bit further.
Now, give us an idea of what is considered City of Toledo concern versus Lucas County's concern.
Yeah, so if it's within the city limits of the City of Toledo, we don't do work in the City of Toledo in terms of roadways. So the City of Toledo would do all that. So if you have an issue with a pothole or something in the city, you would call the city. We take care of areas that are outside the City of Toledo or any municipality. So if you're in a township, most of those major roadways are county roadways.
And there you see, what is this project? This is a milling, kind of take off the top layer?
That's correct. So that's a typical resurfacing project where they'll basically milling the top layer off, they brush the material off, put a tar tack coating on, and then resurface on top of it.
Then what's done with the product that's taken off the road?
So you can do a whole bunch of stuff with it. A lot of times we've actually given it to people to gravel a parking lot. They're really good in terms of what they have. They have asphalt with them, so you can put it out in a gravel parking lot. You can actually roll it down, and it actually does a really impermeable surface. It acts a lot like a pavement, but it's graveled, but it acts like a pavement. It's kind of packed down. It's a lot more solid, and we give it away to a lot of those types of places, and you can use it for fill in other places.
Mike, I've got like 30 seconds left. I want to get the last big project of the season. Also, is the streams that overflow because a lot of times they're being blocked by trees that have fallen in there. What's the progress of that? What's happening?
Yeah, so we are lucky enough for the commissioners to approve those types of projects last year. We flew the locations. We're going to do them this winter when the leaves are off the trees. We're finishing up the plans for those. They're going to go out to bid here in the next few months, and then we'll be out there removing those trees and dipping those ditches through the summer into next year.
And there's a number for the Lucas County Engineer's office if you want to give them a call or have any questions out there. Mike Pniewski, as always, thanks so much for coming.
Thanks a lot. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.